Anita Cobby was a woman who radiated warmth and kindness. A dedicated nurse, her life revolved around caring for others. Her gentle nature and genuine compassion touched the lives of everyone she met. Friends and family remember her infectious laughter and her unwavering positivity. However, Anita's life was tragically cut short in a crime that shook Australia to its core. On a February night in 1986, Anita disappeared. The vibrant, caring woman vanished, leaving behind a trail of fear and unanswered questions. The news of her disappearance sent shockwaves through her community and beyond. People anxiously awaited news, hoping for her safe return. Days later, their hopes were dashed. Anita's body was found, brutally murdered, in a rural area. The discovery sent a chill down the spines of Australians. The sheer brutality of the crime was incomprehensible. It was a stark reminder of the darkness that could lurk beneath the surface of society. Anita, a beacon of light and kindness, had become the victim of an unspeakable act of violence. This horrific act of violence left an indelible scar on the Australian psyche. Anita's story became a symbol of vulnerability and the urgent need for societal change. Her tragic fate served as a catalyst for a national conversation about violence against women and the importance of community safety. Anita's memory continues to inspire Australians to fight for justice and to work towards creating a safer society for all. February 2nd, 1986, started like any other day for Anita. She finished her shift at the hospital, radiating her usual warmth and cheer. Little did she know that this ordinary day would be her last. Later that evening, Anita was walking home from Blacktown railway station. It was a route she had taken countless times before, a familiar path in her quiet suburban life. Darkness had descended, and the streets were quiet as Anita made her way home. Unbeknownst to her, danger lurked in the shadows. 5 men, John Travers, Michael Murdoch, Leslie Murphy, Gary and Michael Murphy, were prowling the streets, fueled by alcohol and malice. They spotted Anita, a lone woman walking home in the darkness. Their cruel intentions took shape, and they seized the opportunity to unleash their brutality. Anita was abducted, dragged into a stolen car, and driven to a secluded paddock in Prospect. The details of what happened next are too horrific to recount in full. Anita was subjected to unimaginable brutality, a horrifying ordeal of torture and sexual assault. The 5 men, driven by a perverse and sadistic rage, left her battered and broken in that desolate field. 2 days later, Anita's body was discovered. The news of her fate sent a wave of shock and grief across the nation. The serene image of suburban life was shattered, replaced by the grim reality of violence that could strike anyone, anywhere. Anita's story became a chilling reminder of the vulnerability of women and the urgent need for greater security and awareness in society. The investigation into Anita Cobby's murder was extensive and meticulous. Police officers worked tirelessly, driven by the need to bring the perpetrators to justice and provide some semblance of closure to a grieving community. The brutality of the crime had shaken even the most seasoned investigators, fueling their determination to catch the culprits. Evidence was carefully gathered, witness statements painstakingly recorded, and every lead pursued. The investigation led the police to the 5 men who had been prowling the streets that fateful night. John Travers, Michael Murdoch, Leslie Murphy, Gary and Michael Murphy were apprehended and brought in for questioning. The weight of evidence against them was overwhelming. Witness testimonies corroborated their presence in the area, and forensic evidence linked them directly to the crime scene. The trial that followed was a harrowing spectacle. The details of Anita's ordeal were laid bare, exposing the depths of depravity to which human beings could sink. The evidence presented was irrefutable, painting a grim picture of the events of that night. The jury, tasked with the heavy burden of delivering justice, found all 5 men guilty of the heinous crime. They were sentenced to life imprisonment, a small consolation for the irreversible damage they had inflicted. The identification and conviction of the 5 men brought a sense of relief, but not closure. Anita's life was gone, a bright light extinguished by senseless violence. The scars of her loss remained, etched deeply into the hearts of her loved ones, and the collective consciousness of a nation grappling with the darkness that had emerged from within its midst. Australia's outrage at the news of Anita Cobby's murder reverberated throughout the nation. People were horrified by the brutality of the crime. The fact that such a heinous act could occur in their own backyard shattered the illusion of safety and security. Anita's story became a national tragedy, a grim reminder of the vulnerability of women and the urgent need for societal change. Public outrage was palpable. People took to the streets, demanding justice for Anita and greater protection for women. The media extensively covered the case, bringing the issue of violence against women to the forefront of national consciousness. Anita's story served as a catalyst for a broader conversation about gender-based violence and the need for systemic reforms. The government responded to the public outcry by implementing stricter laws and increasing funding for victim support services. The case also led to a significant shift in societal attitudes. There was a greater awareness of the prevalence of violence against women and the need to address its root causes. Anita's memory became a driving force for change, inspiring countless individuals and organizations to work towards creating a safer and more just society. Anita Cobby's story is a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the ever-present potential for darkness in our world. Her tragic fate serves as a call to action, urging us to remain vigilant and to work together to create a safer and more just society. While we cannot undo the past, we can honor Anita's memory by striving to prevent such tragedies from happening again. Remembering Anita means acknowledging the ongoing issue of violence against women and the urgent need for continued action. It requires us to challenge harmful attitudes and behaviors, to promote respect and equality, and to create a culture where violence is never tolerated. We must support victims and survivors, empower them to speak out, and ensure they receive the justice and support they deserve. Strengthening our communities requires a collective effort. We must work together to create environments where everyone feels safe and respected. This includes fostering a culture of open communication, promoting bystander intervention, and supporting initiatives that address the root causes of violence. By standing united against violence and injustice, we can create a world where tragedies like Anita's become a relic of the past. Anita Cobby's life may have been tragically cut short, but her legacy lives on in the hearts of those who loved her and in the ongoing fight for a safer, more just society. Let us honor her memory by working tirelessly to create a world where everyone can live free from fear and violence, a world where the light of compassion and justice shines brightly, illuminating the path towards a better future.